Now come to the main point, which is called as the structure of fungi. As we have discussed, the fungi is the eukaryotic organism. So it's a eukaryotic organism, and it shows the great complex and it shows the very complex structure as compared to the prokaryotes, because bacterial structure is quite easy to study because it's a prokaryote, but the fungi belongs to the eukaryotic organism and they possess all kinds of the membrane bound organelle and shows the very complex structure. Okay, now let us consider this structure of the fungi. Now see, the fungi are once considered as a plant like organism. Okay, sometimes before they are considered as a plants like organisms, but are more closely related to the animals than the plants. Now देखिए, in the previous जैसे जैसे studies आगे बढ़ती गई fungus के बारे में, previously it thought that the fungus, as they cannot move from one place to another place, they are more like the plants. Okay, previously it is thought were like that. Okay, so that the fungi are quite relating with the plant and they are where the plant like, and they do not move from one place to another place, and that is why they are the plant like. It's a generalization at that time, but as the studies advances in the fungi, what we have found out that the fungi are not capable of photosynthesis. Okay, they cannot perform photosynthesis, they lack the photosynthetic machinery, they do not contain the chlorophyll or they do not contain the chloroplast. Okay, and they are the heterotrophic because they use the complex organic compound as a source of the energy and the carbon, right? So they cannot perform photosynthesis because they cannot do not possess the photosynthetic apparatus, and they cannot create their own food, and they plus they are heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means they are dependent on the other organism for their nutrition, right? So both these characteristics, one is the non photosynthetic, second is the heterotrophic. All both these characteristics attributed to the fungi make them very close to the animals and not to the plants, because plants are autotrophic organisms. Okay, plants kaise hote hain? Plants are autotrophic organisms because they can perform the photosynthesis and they can prepare their own food in this process. Okay, so photosynthesis, through the process of photosynthesis, plants prepare their own food, and that is why they are considered as autotrophic. But the fungi cannot prepare their own food, they are non photosynthetic and they are heterotrophic, and that is why they are more closely related to the animals and than to the plants. Okay, तो वो प्लांट से ज्यादा मैच नहीं करते हैं, प्लांट से ज्यादा वो किसके साथ मैच करते हैं? एनिमल के साथ मैच करते हैं. कैसे मैच करते हैं? डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द टू पॉइंट्स. फर्स्ट, दे लैक द photosynthetic machinery, that is they are non photosynthetic, and second, they are heterotrophic, that is they are dependent on the other organism for their living. Okay, so both these factors attributed to the fungi make them closely resemble to the animals and not to the plants. Okay, now see, with the exception of the yeast, which is the unicellular fungi. Okay, fungi are mostly filamentous. Okay, there is only one exception, that is the yeast, and yeast is the unicellular fungi. Okay, एक ही सेल होता है, it's a unicellular fungi, but if we avoid the exceptions, majority of the fungi, almost all the fungi are the filamentous in structure, that is they form the filaments, and that is why they are called as the filamentous. Okay, so filaments are like this, ऐसे filaments वहां पे होते हैं उनके structure में, and that is why they are called as the filamentous. Okay, now these filaments, their bodies consist of the long, slender, thread-like structure which is called as the hyphae. See, if you consider this filament like this, and this single filament is the long, slender and thread-like structure, this structure is called as the hyphae. Okay, जब हम फंगस स्टडी करेंगे तो हाइफी हर बार आएगा. नाउ द नेटवर्क ऑफ दिस हाइफी, ओके, इफ दिस हाइफी फॉर्म्स द नेटवर्क लाइक दिस, सी, दिस इज द सेकंड हाइफी, दिस इज द थर्ड हाइफी, fourth hyphae, right, fifth hyphae. So this is how the network is formed in these hyphaes. This collective hyphae, this whole network of the hyphae is called as the mycelium. Okay, so hyphae and mycelium are the two basic structures found in the fungus, and these two structures are quite different from one another, but they are still very much connected. That is, the hyphae is the single filamentous structure, and the network of this hyphae is called as the mycelium. Okay, so hyphae and mycelium, these are two terms are typical of the fungi, and this single filamentous thread-like structure is called as the hyphae, while the network of this hyphae is called as the mycelium. Okay, तो चलिए next point consider करते हैं regarding the structure of the fungi. Now see, the some hyphaes are continuous tubes are filled with the multinucleated cytoplasm. Okay, and these hyphaes are called as सिनोसाइटिक hyphaes. Okay, देखिए hyphae जो होती है, जैसे हमने कहा कि एक सिंगल फिलामेंट इस तरह के से होता है, इस सिंगल फिलामेंट को hyphae कहते हैं. सी देखिए, हमने hyphae के बारे में जब बात की थी तो hyphae is a single filament which is found in the structure of the fungi. Now in this single filament, if it is a continuous tube, okay, it is a continuous tube and it filled with the multinucleated, nucleuses. Okay, there are many nucleuses present in the single hyphae, and there is a cytoplasm in these hyphaes. Then such a type of hyphae is called as the cynocytic hyphae, because it's a continuous hyphae and there is a no septum in between. Okay, hence the condition arises which is called as the multinucleated cytoplasm. And others have the septi or the cross walls in their hyphae. Okay, as you can observe in this particular diagram, this has the septum and each compartment possesses only one nucleus, and in such a condition these are called as the monokaryotic hyphae. Okay, so hyphae can be of two types: cynocytic hyphae and non-cynocytic hyphae, or septate hyphae or aseptate hyphae. Okay, so septate hyphae can be defined as one which has the compartment in their whole structure, and these compartments are made up of the septums. Okay, septums are present in between each cell, and they form many compartment in the hyphae, and each compartment possesses only one nucleus. This is called as the septate hyphae. Okay, this type of hyphae is called as the septate hyphae, and those hyphaes which shows the continuous tube of the multinucleated cytoplasm, then in such a condition it is called as the aseptate hyphae or the cynocytic hyphae. Okay, so hyphae can be of two types. जैसे कल हमने बात की थी, वी हैव डिस्कस यस्टरडे दैट द हाइफीज आर दी सिंगल ट्यूब्स इन द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द फंगाई, and the network of these tubes, the network of this hyphae is called as the mycelium. Now this hypha may be cynocytic and non-cynocytic, or may be septate or aseptate. The cell wall in the fungi are composed of a chitin and the polysaccharides. Okay, now this point is very very important, because this is what makes the fungi dissimilar or the distinguished from the plants. Now how? See, the plant cell wall possesses the plants possess the cell wall. Okay, and the fungi also possess the cell wall. फंगाई के पास भी क्या होती है? सेल वॉल होती है. Both plants and animal, both plants and fungi possess this cell wall. Now see, what is the basic difference between plant cell wall and the fungus cell wall? That the plant cell wall is made up of the cellulose plus hemicellulose and pectins. Okay, this is the chemical composition of the plant cell wall: cellulose, hemicellulose and pectin. These are the primary ingredient present in the chemical composition of the cell wall of the plants. But in the fungal cell wall, the fungal cell wall is typically made up of the polysaccharide which is called as chitin. Okay, chitin is very much different from the cellulose, hemicellulose and pectins. So although plants and fungi both possess the cell wall, there is a there is a difference in the chemical composition of the cell wall of the plant and the cell wall of the fungi, because the cell wall of the fungi is made up of the chitin, and the cell wall in the plants is made up of the cellulose, hemicellulose and pectins. Okay, so this is the difference between the cell wall of the fungi and the cell wall of the plant. Okay, so from this slide we have studied that the hyphae are of two types. It may be cynocytic hyphae or non-cynocytic hyphae, or it may be septate hyphae or aseptate hyphae, and the fungal cell walls are made up of the chitins and the polysaccharides. Okay, now see, the fungi are the eukaryotes. Okay, we have discussed this. The fungi belongs to the eukaryotic organism because they possess all the membrane bound organelles. Okay, just bacteria jo the, they belongs to the prokaryotes. Okay, because they lack the membrane bound organelles, but the fungi possess the membrane bound organelles and shows the very complex cellular organization, and that is why they belongs to the eukaryotes. Okay, so fungi are the eukaryotes and have the complex cellular organization. As eukaryotes, fungal cells contains the membrane bound nucleus where the DNA is wrapped around the histone proteins. Okay, very very important. See, observe this fungal cell. This is the ultrastructure of the fungi cell. Here you can observe the nucleus. Okay, the well defined nucleus is there, and inside this nucleus what we have the nucleolus, and inside this nucleus what we have the DNA which is wrapped around the histone proteins. Okay, so DNA is well protected inside the nucleus in the fungi, because fungi are the eukaryotic organisms. They shows the very well defined nucleus. In the bacteria, when we studied about the bacteria does not have well defined nucleus, and that is why they belong to the prokaryotes. Okay, so bacteria do not show any type of nucleus, and that is why we consider them as a prokaryote. But in a fungi which are eukaryote, they shows the very well defined nucleus there, and inside the nucleus they have the DNA which is wrap around the histone proteins. You must have heard about the nucleosome model of DNA plus histone protein. So being a eukaryote, the fungi shows the very complex cellular organization, and they also shows the presence of membrane bound nucleus. They has a double membrane bound nucleus. You can observe here, this is the double membrane bound nucleus, and inside this nucleus they have DNA which is wrap around the histone proteins. Right, now see, the fungal cells also contain the mitochondria and a complex system of internal membranes, including the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi apparatus. Okay, right away we have talked about that the fungi being eukaryotes possess the all membrane bound organelles. For example, they possess the mitochondria which is a membrane bound organelle. They also possess the endoplasmic reticulum. They also possess the Golgi apparatus as well. right? So Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, all these are the membranous internal structures which are present in these fungi cell, and that is why we consider them as a eukaryote. Okay, you can observe here, this is a nucleus, this is a mitochondria, right? This is an endoplasmic reticulum, and all these membrane bound structures are present in the cell of the fungi, and that is why we consider them as the eukaryotes and not the prokaryotes. Because in the bacteria, when we consider them as a prokaryote, they lack all these structures: mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, etc. Okay, so from this you can easily decide that the why we call fungi as a eukaryotic organism, because they possess all the membrane bound organelles, right? Plus the well-defined nucleus. Inside the nucleus, what they have the DNA which is wrapped around the histone proteins, right? Now see, the rigid layers of the fungal cell walls contains the complex polysaccharide which is called as the chitin and the glucans. Okay, just we have discussed that they shows the complex cell wall. Here you can observe, this is the cell wall of the fungi. Outside they have the very complex cell wall, and from which chemical composition this complex cell wall is created? This cell wall is created from the chitin and the glucans. Okay, so very much different from the plant cell wall, where the cell wall is made up of the cellulose, hemicellulose and pectins, but in the fungi the cell wall is made up of the chitin plus the glucans. Okay, so please remember the chemical composition carefully for the fungi. Okay, now this chitin which is also found in the exoskeleton of the insect. You must have seen the exoskeleton of some of the insect. Okay, majority of the insects in our surrounding shows this exoskeleton which is made up of the chitin. Okay, which gives them a structural strength to the cell wall of the fungi. Okay, so this chitin is also found in the animal kingdom in the insect. In the insect, the external hard covering or the exoskeleton is made up of this chitin. Okay, so majority of the time when we trap the insect, you come to know that their outer body is quite hard. They shows the very hard exoskeleton. This exoskeleton is made up of the chitin. So you can say that why we consider the fungi as more closely related to animals and not to the plants, because they shows the many similarities with the animals than to the plants. Okay, just like the cell wall is made up of the chitin, and this chitin compound is also found in the exoskeleton of the insect. Insect is the group belongs to the animal kingdom, right? So this is also a similarity between the fungi group and the animal group. Okay, now see, the cell wall protect the cell from the desiccation and the predators. Okay, there are two functions which is performed by these cell walls in the fungi, that they avoid the desiccation of the fungi, plus they protect the fungi from the predators. Okay, now desiccation is the important function which is performed by the fungal cell wall. Is that, see, many a time in the habitat of the fungi they do not find the water, okay, sufficient water for the moisture. Now in such a condition, the fungal cell may get desiccated. Desiccation means ki due to the no water presence, the dryness comes in the cell, and that dryness is avoided by these are cell walls. Okay, because these are hard cell walls made up of the chitins, and these chitinous cell walls protect the internal cytoplasm very well, and that is why it avoids the cell from getting the desiccation, and that is why we say that fungi can survive there where there is even there is no sufficient amount of water. Okay, algae cannot survive where there is no sufficient amount of water. Algae always require some water to grow. Okay, but when there is algae and fungi combination, and fungi being having the ability to survive in the desiccated condition, this algae and fungi combination is called as the lichen, and this lichen is able to grow where there is no water just because of the fungi. Okay, so there are two primary functions done by the cell wall of the fungi. First is it prevents the cell from getting the desiccated, and in second it helps the safeguard the cell from the predators. Okay, now fungi also possess the plasma membrane similar to the eukaryotes. Okay, so outside we have the cell wall, and inside the cell wall what we have the plasma membrane. Okay, just like all the eukaryotes possess the plasma membrane, like plants and animals, like plants possess the plasma membrane, animals possess the plasma membrane. The similar plasma membrane is also possessed by the fungal cells as well. Okay, except that the structure is stabilized by the ergosterol, a steroid molecule that replaces cholesterol found in the animal cell membranes. So now see, this is the very important difference between the animal plasma membrane and the fungal plasma membrane. The animal plasma membrane, when we talk about the animal plasma membrane, the animal plasma membrane is stabilized by the cholesterol. Okay, it is stabilized by the steroid which is called as cholesterol. But in the fungi, this cholesterol is replaced by the ergosterol. It's another kind of steroid molecule, but it is found in the fungi and not found in the animals. Okay, so the structure, the plasma membrane structure in the fungi are stabilized by the ergosterol, whereas in the animal it is stabilized by the cholesterol. Okay, because the animals in the animal cell the plasma membrane is stabilized by the cholesterol, while in the fungal cell the plasma membrane is stabilized by the ergosterol. Okay, now see, the most of the members of the kingdom fungi are the non-motile. Okay, they shows the non-motility and they do not move from one place to another place. Okay, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे वो जा नहीं सकते, and due to this lack of the motility, they show some similarity with the plant, because plant also cannot move from one place to another place. So that the fungal majority of the kingdom fungi members are non-motile. They cannot move from one place to the other place. Okay. What is the structure of the fungi? In the structure, we have described the two types of hyphae, the cenocytic hyphae and the non-cenocytic hyphae. After that, we said that the fungi are the eukaryotic organisms. Okay, fungi kaise organism hai? They are the eukaryotic organism, and due to their eukaryoticness, the fungi shows the presence of all membrane bound organelles. Okay, plus the fungi also possess the cell walls, right, which is made up of the chitins. Okay, cell walls होते हैं वहाँ पे, which is made up of the chitins, and these cell walls protect it from the desiccation and the predators. Also, they possess the plasma membrane, which is similar to the eukaryotic structure. This plasma membrane shows the special kind of steroid, which is called the ergosterol, which is nothing but the replacement of the cholesterol, which is found in the animal world, right? And they are majority of the members of the kingdom fungi are the non-motile, right? Now within the cytoplasm, see, we have discussed the cell wall, which is the outermost structure. Here we find the outermost structure, which is the cell wall, and inside the cell wall what we have is the plasma membrane. Here you can easily see the plasma membrane. Okay, now inside the plasma membrane what we have is the colorless cytoplasm. Okay, inside here we have the very colorless cytoplasm is present there inside the cytoplasm. So cell wall, after the cell wall we have the plasma membrane, and after the plasma membrane what we have inside the cell is the colorless cytoplasm. Anyways, the sap filled vacuoles may occur. Okay, inside this colorless cytoplasm what we find the vacuole. Okay, generally this vacuole is not present in the younger cell, but it develops over a period of time as the cell ages. Okay, so inside the cytoplasm what we find is the vacuole. Just like plants and animal cell, the fungal cell also possesses the vacuole. Okay, now amongst the cell organelles included are the endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, ribosome, Golgi apparatus, and the vacuoles. All these are the characteristic of the eukaryotic cell. Okay, what we have studied is that the outer boundary of the fungal cell is the cell wall. After the cell wall we have the plasma membrane. Inside the plasma membrane what we have is the colorless cytoplasm, and inside this colorless cytoplasm there is a vacuole, there is a endoplasmic reticulum, there is a ribosome, there is a mitochondria, etc. All these things are present inside the cell of the प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. ओके, प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर ये सब कुछ जो ऑर्गेनल्स होते हैं, जो यूकैरियोटिक टिपिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ द यूकैरियोट, दैट दे possess the membrane bound organelle like endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, and vacuoles, etc. All are present inside the cell of the fungus. Okay, when dealing with the fungus cell structure, we came to know that they are made up of the cell wall. After the cell wall they have plasma membrane. Inside the plasma membrane they have the colorless cytoplasm, and in that colorless cytoplasm they possess the many membrane bound organelles like vacuole, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, etc. Okay, now see the lomasomes. Okay, these are the very special structure which are found in the these fungal cells, see, which are membranous structure laying between the cell wall and the plasma membrane, are common. See here you can observe these are the lomasomes. You can observe here these are the lomasomes, and lomasomes are present between the cell wall and the plasma membrane. Their position is very much important because these lomasomes are typically found in the fungal cells, and they perform the very unique function there. Okay, so lomasomes are the membranous structure. What they are the membranous structure which are laying between the cell wall and the plasma membrane. Okay, now examples of the inclusion bodies are the stored foods. The stored foods are also there in the form of inclusion bodies like glycogen and the oil droplets, pigments, and the secretory granules. Okay, you can observe the granules inside the cells as well, right? These granules are nothing, can be the glycogens or the oil drops. Okay, and there may be some secretory granules as well. Okay, now let us consider the next point. See, the cytoplasm of the young hyphae, if the hyphae is young, okay, if the cytoplasm, the young hyphae or the fungal cells and the hyphal tips lacks the vacuole. Okay, important point, you should note it down, that the young hyphae or the young fungal cells or the fungal tips, and these young cells lacks the vacuole. Young cell में vacuole नहीं होता है. Okay, so whenever there is a young hyphae or the young fungal cell or the hyphal tips are generally made up of the young cells, and that is why they lack the vacuole there. Now they appear further back or in the old cells. Okay, as the cell is getting older, the vacuole starts to appear there. Okay, so at the beginning, when the hyphae is young or the fungal cell is young, there is the absence of vacuole. But when but these are cells, as they become old, they are start to getting the vacuole. Okay, with age they also enlarge. Okay, as the fungal cell is getting larger, older and older, this vacuole also enlarges with the age of the fungal cell. Okay, so very important point that in the young hyphae we do not find the vacuole, but as the cell ages there is the appearance of the vacuole, and as the cell with the age of these fungal cells, the vacuoles also enlarges with the age of the fungal cell. Okay, now see, the most fungi are the multicellular organism. Okay, exception is the yeast. Yeast is the unicellular fungi. Now most of the fungi is the multicellular organism, and they display the two distinct morphological stages in their life cycle. Okay, in the life cycle of the fungi, they shows the two distinct stages. The very first stage is the vegetative stage, and second is the reproductive stage. Okay, the fungal hyphae first creates the vegetative part of the body, and then they create the reproductive part. That is why they has the two stages, morphological stages. In the first morphological stage they has the vegetative body, and in the second morphological stage they shows the reproductive body. Okay, so let us consider first the vegetative stage. It consists of the tangle of the slender thread-like structure which are called as the hyphae. So the vegetative stage is typically made up of the hyphae only. The singular is hypha. Okay, so in the vegetative stage, what they have, the tangle of slender thread-like structures. They shows the thread-like structures which are called as the hypha. The mass of this hyphae is called as the mycelium. As we have studied earlier as well, the network of this hyphae is called as the mycelium. It grows on the surface or in the soil or on the decaying material, in the liquid or even on the living tissue. All these habitat we have go through this in detail, right? So in a vegetative state, the body of the fungus is made up of the hypha and the mycelium. Okay, so when we talk about the vegetative stage, there are two important structures come in the vegetative stage. First is the hyphae, and second is the mycelium. And mycelium is nothing but the mass of the hyphae. Okay, all these vegetative stage can grow anywhere on the surfaces or in the soil or on the decaying matter or in the liquid, or for that matter on the living tissue as well. Okay, now see, the most of the fungal hyphae are divided into two separate cells by the end walls called as the septa. Okay, now see, most of the fungal hyphae are divided into the separate cells. Now how the separate cells are formed in the fungi? Due to the presence of septa. Now observe this hyphae. Now these are the septum which are present in the hyphae. Now this is the first septum, this is the second septum, and this is the third septum. And you can observe that due to these septums, these different cells are formed in the hyphae. Okay, due to this septum, you can say that this is the one cell, right? And this is the another cell. This is the third cell, and this is the fourth cell. Okay, so the due to the presence of septa there, the fungal hyphae is divided into the many cells. Okay, now see, in most of the phyla of the fungus, the tiny holes in the septa allows the rapid flow of the nutrients and the small molecule from cell to cell along the hypha. Okay, then they are described as a perforated septa. Most of the phyla of the fungi shows the perforations in the septum. Okay, consider this is an fungal hyphae, and in that fungal hyphae here we have the septum, and due to these septums the many cells are formed. But what this septum has is the tiny pores, small pores inside these septums. Okay, so that nutrients can easily flow from one cell to the other cell and so on. So such a kind of septa is called as the perforated septa. Okay, so the septa which is present in the fungal hyphae often shows the presence of the tiny holes. Small holes are present there, and due to the presence of these small holes, the nutrients can flow from one cell to the another cell very easily. And such a hypha which shows the presence of a small pores for the transportation of the nutrients and the small molecule is called as the perforated septa. So this term perforated septa is very important from the examination point of view. Okay, this is the very peculiar structural details we can discuss in the structure of the fungi, is that their hyphae, when separated by the septa and forming many cells due to the presence of septa, these septa possess the small pores. Okay, and through these small pores, nutrients and the small molecule can transport from one cell to the another cell, and such a type of septa is called as the perforated septa. Okay, now the hyphae of the bread molds. Okay, we have seen the bread molds in one of the pictures in some previous slides, right? The hyphae in the bread molds are not separated by the septa. Okay, they do not have the septa, that is, they have the continuous hyphae there, right? Instead, they are formed by the large cells containing the many nuclei. These are the large cells and contains the many nuclei. Okay, this dot represents the nuclei. So many nuclei are present in the continuous columns of the hyphae, and they does not show any septa. Okay, an arrangement described as the synocytic hyphae. Just we have discussed that synocytic hyphae is a continuous hyphae, and they do not show the presence of any kind of septa. And due to the absence of any kind of septa, there creates the multinucleated condition. Okay, now see here in this particular diagram, you can observe the siphonal or the synocytic hyphae. See, this is the hyphae, and there is no separation. There is no septa present in this particular hyphae, and you can observe the many nuclei in the hyphae. Okay, these are black dots represent the nuclei. So the multinucleated cytoplasmic condition is created in the synocytic hyphae. So the synocytic hyphae is that hyphae which shows the continuous columns of the hyphae without the presence of any septum. And due to the lack of the septum, there is a creation of multinucleated cytoplasm condition, which is termed as a synocephal hyphae, siphonal hyphae or the synocytic hyphae. Okay. Now see, the example for this is the bread molds. Okay. Now consider the next point. Now yeast usually contains the single nucleus per cell. Now see, if per cell there is only one nucleus, the yeast is example for that. Okay. Yeast, as you know, it is a unicellular fungi, and each cell possesses the only one nucleus. So you can say that yeast is the monokaryotic organism. Okay, it's a monokaryotic fungi. Why we are calling the yeast as a monokaryotic fungi? Because per cell it has only one nucleus. Only one nucleus is present in a one cell of the yeast. Okay, while in the bread molds we find the synocytic or the siphonal hyphae. Okay, so the example for the monokaryotic is the yeast, and example for the siphonal or the synocytic hyphae is the bread mold. Now see, however, the hyphal compartments of the filamentous fungi may contain more than one nuclei. Okay, so there are many filamentous fungi which shows the more than one nucleus per cell. See, the monokaryotic basidiomycetes possess the one nucleus per compartment. Okay, so the members of the basidiomycetes possess the only one nucleus per cell, and that is why we are calling them as a monokaryotic. Whereas the dikaryons or the heterokaryons possess two or more nuclei, more genetically distinct haploid nuclei. Okay, you can term this condition as a dikaryotic or the polykaryotic. Okay, so you can see here the two nucleuses per cell. Observe carefully, per cell it has a two nucleus. In such a condition, it is called as the dikaryotic cell, okay, or dikaryon. And if you find more than two nucleus per cell, here you can observe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nucleus per cell. Here you can observe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nucleus per cell. Then in such a condition, it is called as polykaryotic condition. Okay, so nucleus wise, the fungi can be monokaryotic, fungi can be dikaryotic, or fungi can be polykaryotic or the heterokaryotic, or they may be siphonal or the synocytic. There is a no septa present in the hyphae, then it is called as synocytic, and if it has the hyphae, it is called as the septed hyphae. Okay, in the septed hyphae we have three kinds: monokaryotic, dikaryotic, and the polykaryotic. If it has the one nucleus per cell, it is called as monokaryotic. If it has two nucleus per cell, it is called as dikaryotic, and if it has the more than two nucleus per cell, it is called as the polykaryotic. Okay, and when they possess more than one nucleus, this more than one nucleus is genetically distinct haploid nuclei. Okay, very important to understand that the nucleus, if there are the two nucleus or more than two nucleus per cell, these nucleuses are not genetically similar, but they are dissimilar. Okay, they show the distinct DNA, they show the different DNA. That means if the hypha possesses more than one cell, okay, it is called as the dikaryotic or the polykaryotic. But these nucleuses which are dikaryotic or the polykaryotic are not genetically similar, they are genetically distinct haploid nucleus. Okay, but the nucleus is always haploid. Okay, remember one thing about the fungi, that their nuclei are always haploid nucleus. As you may have heard about N, twice N, 4N, right? So it is haploid, diploid, tetraploid conditions. They possess the haploid type of nucleus. If there are two nucleuses, there are two haploid nucleuses. Okay, so you can say that combining the two haploid nucleuses, they can create the diploid nucleus, but they has the haploid condition always in their cells, whether it is a monokaryotic, dikaryotic, or the polykaryotic condition. Alright, and these nuclei are genetically different. Now see, the maintenance of the multiple nuclei within the individual hyphal compartment allow the fungi to take advantage of both haploid and the diploid lifestyle. See, if the fungi is able to maintain the multiple nuclei in their hyphae, if they possess more than one nucleus, they can take the advantage of haploid lifestyle as well as diploid lifestyle as well. right? When we see the cryptogram, okay, in the next chapter we are going to study the cryptograms. We will come to know what are advantages of having the haploid nucleus in the cell and what are the advantages of having the diploid nucleus in the cell. So both these haploid and diploid lifestyle advantages are taken by these multiple nuclei containing hyphae. Okay, so if there is one nucleus per cell, then it is called as the monokaryotic. If two cells, dikaryotic. If more than two cells, polykaryotic. And it does, and if the hyphae does not show any kind of hyphae and any kind of septa, then it is called as the stenocytic hyphae, and it is often multinucleated. Okay, and there is an advantage having of having the more than one nucleus per cell, that the fungi can enjoy the advantage of both haploid lifestyle as well as the diploid lifestyle.